All right, why don't we get started? Um, my name is Rahul Khosla. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of eDynamic, and I've spent over a decade helping a variety of organizations create their digital strategies, essentially leverage digital to solve business and marketing problems. And I'm very excited with where things are going as we're shifting from digital marketing to marketing in the digital world, the implications of how we go out and actually execute marketing programs are fundamentally changing. So very exciting time. Just to quickly introduce my firm, eDynamic, we focus on customer experience. We're located in 3 countries. We focus across the marketing technology ecosystem, work with a lot of professional services firms, also manufacturing, financial services, and these are spread across many Fortune 500 organizations, but a lot of mid-sized organizations as well. And we continue to work on digital transformation with a lot of our clients, but now we're helping them move from digital marketing towards marketing in the digital world. So that's a little bit about us. I'm going to get going and really focus on start by talking about the fundamental shift that we're seeing in digital and the need for driving a digital roadmap. It starts with the client. What we're seeing is that a new client has emerged, and this client is always on, always informed and connected, and this client is consuming information across the customer journey. This client, the customer journey is dynamic, it's cross-channel, and is driven by a client who has very little attention. So what we're seeing is this client is consuming information across the customer journey and is actually driving the buying process, and is expecting organizations to deliver content. And the bigger challenge is that they have very little attention. And as this client is evolving, we're continuing to communicate with them the same old way. The one-size-fits-all approach to marketing is, you take content, push it on your website, batch and blast over email, and you hope something sticks. What we're seeing is that marketers are struggling. They're delivering poor experiences across channels. Marketers cannot coordinate content. They're marketing across channels. They're unable to measure what is customer experience, what is customer engagement, and the technology is not integrated. And they pass on this customer experience to clients and ultimately disengage them. What ends up happening is we're in a world where marketers no longer, clients actually no longer simply ignore information that is irrelevant. They actually disengage from brands. They unsubscribe, and each of us are consumers, and we can attest to the fact that if we get something irrelevant, we actually now disengage because there's too much information coming our way. So we expect relevancy. And relevancy is the key to delivering great customer experiences. Organizations are starting to differentiate with customer experience. While many organizations in the S&P 500 who are leaders in customer experience actually, they outperform laggards by double digits. Many professional service marketers say, well, that doesn't really apply to us. It does. Your marketing has to be as good as the products and services you offer. And to deliver great experiences, a strong marketing technology roadmap is important. And this roadmap ultimately gives you the tools that you need to ultimately deliver experiences wherever your clients are. But getting there can be challenging. We all know that there's so many channels to deal with now. There's channels in our hands. There's channels which are beyond the devices. So the ability to get content out to those channels is difficult, and marketers are just constantly catching up. They can't be strategic because they're just trying to get content out, cover all channels. They're typically limited with resources. So growing channels is a significant problem. Your clients have very little attention. There's a lot of information and less attention. So how do you get the right content to the right person at the right time can be a significant challenge. Marketing technology has been exploding over the last few years. There's a graphic out there that captures the marketing technology ecosystem. A few years ago, about 3 to 4 years ago, there were about 1,000 companies in that in the visual that you see. Now there's 4,000 to 5,000 companies. So there's been an explosion in marketing technology, and marketers struggle to engage, to pick the right technology that's a fit for them, deploy it, and ultimately use it to engage clients. Besides the explosion of marketing technology, while clients expect to engage with the content and experiences that you deliver across channels, while they're expecting you to deliver seamless experiences, marketers are generally siloed. So you've got the email team, the website team, the social team, and quite often they're not talking. So they're delivering content, and they're looking at data, which is vanity metrics like email open rates or shares of social content. Well, all that is good. It does not give a holistic view, and a lot of that is driven by the fact that marketers are generally siloed. And finally, the explosion of data is leading to marketers actually flying blind. So while data is exploding, there's so much data available, marketers just don't have the insights they need to optimize experiences towards their clients. So what really is necessary is that marketers take a step back and think about their marketing technology roadmap to align with their strategic priorities, and then move towards digital execution. There's a general tendency to pick the nice shiny car, nice shiny technology, deploy it, and hope it all comes together. It really does. That's why it's important to have a strategy in place that aligns with strategic priorities so that you can ultimately execute effectively. And to create the right marketing technology roadmap for your organization, you need to align on some key principles that may be applicable. There are 5 key principles that we believe are essential for organizations to deliver great experiences. It starts with knowing your customer. You need to track who your client is, what they're doing. Unless you have that insight, you're not going to be able to engage with them. To know your customers, you need a platform that can track their digital footprints and touch points across all channels. And if you do that, then you need to deliver experience contextual through content which can be pushed out to all channels. And this all needs to be simplified for not only the client, but you internally. So when you think about your clients, and we're in the age of the customer, where the customer is driving the buying process, they are truly in control. You really need to have a deep insight into clients and their journeys. And so it needs to lead to a shift within your organization from focusing on channels to focusing on the client. So what I really mean by that is focusing on their journey. So think about how the client moves from discovery to exploring services to making a decision on your services and then engaging with you, rather than thinking about what content we get out on different channels. Thinking about that cross-channel marketing journey across the customer journey will allow you to think about how clients engage with you. So to know your client, it's important to track client information. And there's really 3 ways you can do that. So there's implicit information that the client leaves on your, say, your site, opening your emails, engaging with you on social media. That's the digital footprint. There's explicit information where they sign in, they tell you about their interests, who they are, and that's typically done when they download information or they subscribe. And then there's external information which is provided by data providers. So by pulling all this information, you can start to really visualize who this client is and what they really want, as opposed to looking at aggregate metrics around how many hits you got on the website. So really getting down to a specific client in a world where there's a shift towards account-based marketing. You need to know who your clients are and what they're looking for, and to be able to pull that information into a single view of your client is important. Capturing explicit information, subscriptions are really important for professional service firms. So being able to track, allow clients to subscribe to information and tell you what they're interested in will allow them to be more specific about their needs and allow you to understand about their needs more specifically. Analytics is perhaps one of the most important investments. So speaking about that single view of the clients, really thinking about how you can bring email, web, social data into a single view. This dashboard is from a tool called Sitecore, but you could use many other tools to really pull that single view of your client so that your marketing and business development teams can start to think about what the clients are interested in and how you engage with them better. And you do this by bringing all data sources in a single view. So bring all these sources from social, the website, and other capabilities. And once you do that, you can start to really measure engagement. So instead of going from thinking about how many hits you got on your website or how many email open rates you got, you can think about how engaged is the client. Is the client the right fit? So it changes the conversation within the firm when you think about measuring engagement rather than looking at aggregate metrics. And you really do this by bringing your marketing technology together. Your marketing technology needs to work together in symphony to engage the client. And by that I mean your ecosystem needs to be connected. So for example, your content management system, your email marketing platform, your analytics platform, and CRM all need to be integrated so that you can get the single view of the client, so that as marketers you have insights into customer and client behavior so you can optimize experiences no matter where the client is. So whether it's on your website, social, mobile. So instead of working in silos, if these systems come together, you can get that single view of the client and you have the tools to get the insights and optimize experiences in real time. So creating this integrated customer experience platform is an important objective of your marketing technology roadmap. And then there's many tools that you would consider when you think about your integrated customer experience platform. What you will may find is that one particular platform or CMS may not cater to all your needs because the marketing technology ecosystem is exploding because of the fact that channels are exploding, the needs of the clients are getting more diverse. So there isn't one specific platform that can cater to all experience needs, if you will. So you really need to stitch together your own ecosystem. And there's a variety of technologies you can consider, from content management, search, portal, marketing automation, social CRM technologies, and see what's a fit for you. And there's so many more. But these are some of the typical ones we see in professional service firms. Experiences also need to be contextual. I think about the Amazon experience. Anytime I'm there, I end up buying way more than I intend to, just because they give me content which is relevant. It's personalized for me. So as a customer, I take my expectations from these B2C experiences to B2B environments. I expect a law firm or an accounting firm or a management consulting firm to treat me with personalized care, to give me the content that I need when I need it. And I shouldn't have to go to their website with a shovel digging for information. They should know who I am and deliver content which is relevant, obviously with all the, with allowing me to opt in and so that they can deliver content which is relevant. You also need to be able to deliver content wherever you're applying. So with the explosion of channels, it's very difficult to create channel-specific content. So the ability to create content in one place in a content management system and deliver that content wherever your clients are is important. So that same content can be pushed to the website, can be repurposed and set up to be pushed out to Facebook, to Twitter, so you can track engagement across channels, but also repurpose and push out content to an ever-growing number of channels. Finally, the experience for clients needs to be simplified, but just as importantly, the experience for marketers have to be simplified as well, because if the marketer's experience breaks, the customer experience will break. So marketers need to be given tools which are simple, which they can actually consume as an organization, and they can use them in a self-service manner to actually deliver experiences which are relevant and engaging for clients. So if you bring that entire ecosystem together, you can actually orchestrate a journey such as this. So say, for example, someone, there's an unknown buyer, and they read a story on social media around Brexit. You can start to track them. You can start to capture their interest. They see an article on your website. If they click on that story, you can start to build a profile, but also start to deliver contextual content, as you would see in Amazon or Netflix. And if they share an article, you can start to really see their engagement building, and hopefully they subscribe. As soon as they subscribe, they become a known client. So they've gone from an unknown visitor to a known client, and you've orchestrated this by giving the right content across channels. And then you can start to deliver dynamic content. You can start to offer perhaps an email which is on that particular topic. And you can start to engage with them on social media, invite them to an event. And all of this engagement starts to then get stored in your CRM, and you can pass on this information to perhaps partner or business development, and they can use this to engage the prospect. So by integrating your ecosystem, you can orchestrate this type of a customer or client journey where across all channels you're delivering content and information which is relevant, but you're also tracking the right insights about that particular client. You're converting an unknown visitor to a known visitor, you're nurturing them, and ultimately creating an opportunity for the firm. So how do you get there? Well, there needs to be some method to the madness. So if you want to create that integrated customer experience platform, and you need a marketing technology roadmap to get you there, you need to apply a process that links your strategic needs, business and marketing needs to ultimately technology capabilities and to a roadmap that actually gets you there. So you need to follow a process. We follow a four-step process that you can essentially construct a process yourself which is relevant for you, but it should link your strategic needs to technology execution. And you can do this by internally conducting workshops, tracking functional needs, identifying the right technology that fits into your ecosystem, and constructing a map that links with your strategic needs, and having success factors identified so that you're clear on what success would look like if you were to execute this program. So some of the success factors with successful roadmap, I recommend to clients that before getting into looking at technology, start by thinking about your functional needs. Think about what are all the functional needs that you would have to support your strategic needs. Select an ecosystem rather than selecting point technology. So think about how different capabilities that you have would work together to engage the client. And then by that, I mean, if you're picking a content management system, it should work with your broader ecosystem in symphony to engage the client. So as you're thinking about selecting technology, avoid jumping to feature selection right away. Think about understanding the needs of the firm, analyze what those requirements might be, look at a variety of vendors, and then select. So start, focusing on a narrow set of vendors. Do ensure that you conduct proof of concept demos and you test that nice shiny car before you purchase it. So it's important to engage with vendors in a manner where you go beyond the demo. It's very easy to look at a demo and pick technology. Everything will look good when it's demoed to you, but it's important to actually conduct proof of concept scenarios which are specific to you that might be unique or might be complex, and you need to actually test the platform before you actually select it. And finally, as you move down your roadmap, it's important to visualize the roadmap. I inform my clients. I impress upon my clients that they need to visualize how objectives are linked to digital strategy, linked to platform execution. All of this needs to come together. If your team needs to be aligned, they need to be able to visualize how the objectives of the firm are linked to strategic initiatives, are finally linked to execution of a platform strategy. So linking all of these together into a roadmap will help you to not only execute the roadmap, but also align the organization towards objectives. So you can see why you're implementing the CMS or why you're implementing personalization. It's towards a certain set of objectives that will drive a certain strategy. And finally, it's important to iterate. It's important to continuously look at your roadmap and see if those KPIs are being hit, if you're meeting the objectives that you set out, and then test a few things which you might be some hypotheses that you can learn from. Some things may not work out. So the whole philosophy around test and learn is really important in marketing, because the world of digital marketing is evolving rapidly. So it's very easy to get left behind. So it's very important to continue to test and iterate that roadmap. With some of our clients, we iterate the roadmap once a quarter. We look at what worked, what did work, and we use those learnings to update the roadmap. In other cases, we may do it once a year. So depending on your organization and how quickly you want to iterate the roadmap and what urgency you have, you can actually establish processes internally to look at the roadmap on a quarterly or annual basis. So with that, I'll open it up to questions. In summary, though, it's important to start with a certain set of principles. It's important to understand that you need to understand who your clients are. You need to track that data. You need to capture it in beyond aggregate analytics into a single view of your client, because if you can't visualize that data, you can't track that data, then you're really not being, you're going to do a disservice to your marketing and disservice to your clients, because you're going to deliver content which is irrelevant. And once you have integrated your platform, it's important to get the right insights to deliver experiences which are relevant and contextual, experiences where you can deliver content with a create once, publish everywhere strategy, and in a manner that's not only simple for your clients, but it's also simple for the marketing team, so they can actually use these tools themselves rather than going to make simple changes. And if you align with those principles and you have a strong roadmap where you're aligning strategic priorities with digital execution, and you create a roadmap that organization can align around, you will find success, and then you will learn from it, and you will iterate and be more structured and have a method to the madness, rather than essentially buying technology and not being able to consume it effectively. So any questions that we have from the attendees?
Thank you so much for the insights, Rahul. We have a few questions from the attendees.
Okay.
So the first question that we have is that, do I select a suite or go best of breed when I select marketing technology?
Yeah, it depends on your needs. I think what we're broadly seeing, though, is that the marketing technology ecosystem is too broad, and it's very difficult to pick one product that caters to all channels and essentially across all your needs. And even if you do pick one platform that has many of these features, you'll find that some features are more sophisticated than others. So what we've seen work well is a best-of-breed approach, to pick platforms which cover certain capabilities that you may need, but also then pick other platforms which integrate well with each other, so that ultimately all of these come together into your customer experience platform. And in the future, if one is not working well, you can exchange or you can rip and replace. with others, so you can be nimble. So what I've seen work well is a best-of-breed approach rather than an all-in suite that covers everything, because usually platforms can't cover everything. But what we do find is that some platforms cover a few key capabilities, and those few capabilities might be a great fit, and then you can look at other platforms for other capabilities.
Sure. And the next question that we have is that for what time period should map be for?
That's a great question. It depends on the organization, but you do want to actually take the time to execute a program. I think anything less than a year is too short. Ideally, 3 years, to be able to at least plan and look ahead. Now we understanding that every time you iterate the roadmap, things change because digital is that way, and your firm may have different objectives. So constructing a 3-year roadmap is a good enough time period to get the investments, get the ROI on the investments that you make. But then, as you construct that roadmap, you iterate it over a period of time and optimize it.
Sure. And the third question that we have is that how do you set up a data management strategy?
Yeah, I think it's important to, if you want to know your clients and capture information, I think you start with your objectives to know, well, what are you going to do with the data? And then identify the sources of where the data can be captured from, and then understand where the data will be stored. So how will you get all that data into a single view, and what are the systems that you're going to use to do that? And then ultimately, once you have data there, what are you going to do with the data? So one aspect of it might be getting the right insights through reporting and dashboard. The other aspect might be to activate the data for cross-channel marketing, so you can use the data to personalize that visitors visit to your website or deliver perhaps a personalized email to the visitor.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rahul, for answering the questions. Well, we have a few more questions, but we will get back to the questions like after the webinar. So we would like to thank all the participants for joining us today. So we look forward to connecting with all of you again. And the recording for today's webinar will be available on our website within the next 3 business days. We will also be sharing the webcast URL with all the attendees via email. So whoever has attended the webinar, they can reach out to us at contact@edynamic.net with any questions that they may have. So thank you, Rahul, and thank you so much, everyone, for the time for attending this webinar.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.
Thank you.